Good morning. First thing I want you to do, because we're here to celebrate you, is to give yourselves a round of applause. I'm going to highlight several spring accomplishments, but the slideshow will do you justice even better. And before we go on, I want you to wave goodbye to the banners up there for the other schools. We are saying goodbye to the MIAC, and we are saying hello to the Catholic League beginning next year. So high school athletes, competition increases. Okay, I have a special award this morning, so we're going to begin with that. It's a special recognition. It's the Booster Club's Griffin Award, which is presented each year to one volunteer who has stood out among the rest. And this year's Griffin Award recipient is Mrs. Fran Talsma. You may know her as Sam's mom. Mrs. Talsma is also the mother of Libby and Izzy Talsma, classes of 2007, 2009 respectively. So you can see that Mrs. Talsma has been a dedicated volunteer for many, many years at Green Hill School, and we certainly want to recognize that today. And here to say a few more words about Mrs. Talsma is Mr. Eric Gatejob.
I'm sorry she's not here today, but just a few things. Fran has been around. You may recognize her from selling things in the Griffin Den, but she's also someone who turns up at any event that we ask her to help with. She's been a teen parent. She's been serving the school for close to 20 years. It's going to be tough to replace her and her cookies. Many of you have played on sports teams with her kids. You know she's pretty famous for that. So certainly a well-deserved honor. Congratulations to Fran. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Talsma. Okay, now back to you. Over the weekend, our track team competed at the regional up at Whitmore Lake. We have 3 state qualifiers in girls track and field, and their state meet is Saturday, June 3rd at Comstock Park High School, which is outside of Grand Rapids, and that is Allie, Kelsey, and Bryn have qualified. And further, the last MIAC conference meet for Green Hill School is tomorrow at Lutheran Northwest. However, we are hosting the pole vault competition here at Green Hills today beginning at 4 o'clock. So if you want to see some more pole vault, you can come out and watch at 4 o'clock today. Our girls tennis team is having a great season. You may have been out there last week on a beautiful day where they swept the regional. And their state meet is Friday and Saturday, June 2nd and 3rd at Holly High School. So we can look forward to that. Green Hills is hosting the boys regional golf meet next Wednesday, May 31st at Washtenaw Golf Club. So we're looking forward to hosting on our home course, which can be a distinct advantage in golf. So you might want to come out for that. That runs all day next Wednesday. All of our other district tournaments have been set for next week, so they'll begin next week. I know some of you have finished your postseason, some of you have started, and some of you are yet to begin. But we want to wish everybody luck in the postseason, and looking forward to more great accomplishments. I also want to congratulate Neil Bazaj, who is your MHSAA Student Advisory Council rep. He's going to be representing you and other high school athletes from across the state. This is a pretty prestigious honor, and we are really proud of Neil having been selected from hundreds of candidates. So congratulations, Neil. And as always, before we begin the slideshow, I do want to recognize all of our coaches who have worked hard this spring to make good things happen for you on the fields and on the track. First of all, our middle school coaches in baseball this year are Mr. Jeff Allen and Mr. Brandon Groff. Our softball coach is Mrs. Bridget Maldonado. Our girls soccer coach is Mrs. Katie Kukulski. Our girls tennis coach is Mr. Thane Feldeisen. Boys lacrosse coach is Mr. Clint Lighters and Mr. Peter Michaelides. And our track and field coaches this year are Mr. Thomas Hussan, Mrs. Jennifer Vischer, and Ms. Marsha Mum. And our high school coaches for baseball, Mr. John Dudley, Mr. Tom Ward, and Mr. Yuki Takatani. Our softball coaches are Mr. Ali Levy and Mr. Todd Gatlin. Our soccer coaches are Mrs. Jessie Gerstenberger and Mr. Andy Wicklund. Our girls tennis coaches are Mr. Mark Randolph, Mrs. Andrea Bogan, and Mr. Andrew Gennard. Our boys lacrosse coaches are Mr. Mike Costello and Mr. Navarre Sandhu. Our girls lacrosse coach is Ms. Shelley Godobo. Our track and field coaches are Mrs. Sarah LeBlanc, Mr. Brian Rakavitis, Mr. and Mrs. Tyler Rook, and Mr. Ernie Rigetti. That also should include Rachel Rook. Our golf coach, Mr. Michael Carr. And finally, our strength and conditioning coach is Mr. Kyle Grady. Finally, I'd like to extend a special thanks to Mrs. Lisa Hogan, Mr. Ostrike, and Marsha Mom for their help throughout the season. And finally, Mr. Ali Levy has a very quick athletic announcement while we cue the slideshow. Thank you.
Hi everybody, just briefly, this message and announcement is really focused more to the 9th through 12th crowd, but next week, and building off of the momentum from a great celebration to end the athletic season, we are going to be hosting 2 events to talk about college and athletic recruitment. So these are going to take place, this announcement will go out later today to your families, but next Tuesday, May 30th, and Thursday, June 1st, starting at 7:30 in the morning, we will be hosting a coffee in the Junior Forum area to talk a little bit about athletics and admissions. So if any of you are prospective athletes and would like to learn a little bit more about how your athletic possibilities can be realized on the college side, I'd be happy to talk to you about that, having worked as an admissions liaison to the athletic coaches in university admissions. Thank you so much, and I'm going to pass it off to Meg. Thank you. Hope to see you there.